What's up, fantasy managers? Welcome back to another episode of the First Pitch Podcast brought to you by PitcherList.com. My name is Jake Crumpler, and I'll be the host for this edition of the podcast. You can follow me on socials at Jake Crumpler and can find all of my work at CrumplerBaseball.com. Let's dive into everything baseball related from Sunday, August 23rd. We'll start it off, as always, with the transactions, injuries, news, and notes from around the league, kicking things off with the bad news as outfielder Everson Pereira was placed on the 10-day IL with a hand contusion after he got hit by a fastball in the hand. X-rays returned negative, but Pereira will spend at least the next 10 days on the injured list anyway. Jose Fermin will take over on the short side of a center field platoon alongside Nathan Church for the Cardinals, as third baseman Ramon Urias was activated from the 60-day IL in a corresponding move. Urias has been out with tennis elbow in both of his arms, and he'll get into the lineup versus left-handed pitchers from time to time there at the hot corner in St. Louis. Next, third baseman Brendan Donovan was placed on the 7-day IL with a concussion after he got hit in the head with a baseball in the batting cages while warming up over the weekend. Weston Wilson will man the hot corner on an everyday basis for the Mariners until Donovan returns, and third baseman Patrick Wisdom was recalled for the Miners in a corresponding move. He'll be a bench bat for Seattle. Next, starting pitcher Ryan Weathers was placed on the 15-day IL with a forearm flexor strain. Weathers will be shut down from throwing for 2 to 4 weeks, but he does have a great chance to pitch again before the end of the season, according to the Yankees. Reliever Brendan Beck was recalled for the Miners in a corresponding move, and he'll give the bullpen some length. The replacement for Weathers in the rotation remains unclear. Next, third baseman Kyle Karros was placed on the 7-day IL with a concussion. Willie Castro will man the hot corner for the Rockies with Karros on the IL, with Connor Norby handling second base duties. And second baseman Ryan Ritter was recalled for the Miners in a corresponding move, and he could get into the lineup often versus left-handed pitchers. Next, first baseman Michael Toglia was placed on the 10-day IL with a dislocated shoulder, which he suffered after diving for a ball in the outfield. Toglia is likely to miss a few weeks recovering from that subluxation, and playing time likely won't change much in Cincinnati regardless. Outfielder Ivan Johnson was recalled for the Miners in a corresponding move. And lastly, starting pitcher Michael Soroka was placed on the 15-day IL with arm inflammation. Soroka joins a host of other Arizona starters currently on the injured list, as Corbin Burns, Ryan Nelson, and Zach Gallen are all on the injured list as well. It's been a rough season for the Diamondback starting pitchers. Cole Drake is somebody that could come up from the minors to replace Soroka in the rotation. We've already seen him get a few starts this year, but reliever Dre Jamieson was activated from the 15-day IL in a corresponding move, and he's missed the past month with hip inflammation. In terms of transactions, catcher Logan O'Hoppe was recalled from the minors. He'll be the Rangers' third catcher, and he will be on the short side of a DH platoon with Jock Peterson. Outfielder Jared Kelnick was designated for assignment in a corresponding move. Next, outfielder Cody Bellinger was activated from the 10-day IL after missing a month with a hamstring strain. Bellinger will return to being the Yankees' everyday left fielder, as outfielder Elliot Ramos will be forced to the short side of a right field platoon with Spencer Jones. Outfielder Max Schumann was optioned to the minors in a corresponding move. Next, Yusei Kikuchi was activated from the 60-day IL to start in Texas. He'd missed nearly 4 months with shoulder inflammation, and he didn't look great in his return. Kikuchi went 5 innings, allowing 7 hits and 5 runs, walking 1 while striking out 4, inducing 13 whiffs with 26% CSW across 89 pitches. And Kikuchi's fastball, which already isn't that great, looked even worse on Sunday, as it had 2 to 3 inches less IVB, and he leaned more heavily on curveballs over his slider and splitter. That slider is usually his best pitch, but he was not commanding it well. Regardless of all of that, it was impressive that Kikuchi's fastball completely avoided damage, not allowing any batted balls to turn into hits, and he did a great job of missing bats overall with 13 whiffs across 89 pitches. But Kikuchi will need better command. He might need some time to nail that down given the long absence he's faced. Kikuchi already was a borderline pitcher in standard leagues. Reliever Michael Fulmer was designated for assignment in a corresponding move. And lastly, starting pitcher Andrew Sears had his contract selected from the minors to make his MLB debut in bulk relief for the Tigers in Kansas City. He tossed 4 innings, allowing 6 hits and 5 earned runs, walking 1 while striking out 3. He induced 10 whiffs with 27% CSW across 74 pitches. And Sears has a 93 to 90 mile per hour, 93 to 94 mile per hour four seamer with two plane movement from a low arm angle, which means it's not awful, though it did get hit around and it was not commanded well with 55% strikes. So Sears is going to need more help than just his fastball when he pitches again in the majors. His slider was pretty solid, but at 82 miles per hour, they're not like an overwhelming slider in the upper 80s, low 90s, but they still dominated with 46% CSW and 77% strikes. However, I think Sears is going to need to be more than a two pitch pitcher. He did feature a changeup and a curveball, and I think he'll need that changeup to truly step up to give him the weapons he needs to truly handle right-handed batters. Reliever Emmanuel De Jesus was optioned to the minors in a corresponding move. And in terms of news, first baseman Kyle Stowers is expected to be activated from the 10-day IL today after missing the about 2 weeks with a hamstring strain. Stowers will reclaim everyday first base duties for the Marlins, forcing Griffin Conine back to the corner outfield. I think the biggest loser in playing time will be Agustin Ramirez, who will likely see less playing time with other batters forced to take at-bats away from Ramirez at the DH position. And first baseman Davison De Los Santos is expected to be optioned to the minors in a corresponding move. And lastly, starting pitcher Tyler Glasnow is expected to be activated from the 15-day IL tomorrow to start in Atlanta. He's missed nearly 4 months with back spasms. So Tyler Glasnow returning to the Dodgers rotation. Now we can take a look at our notable performances from Sunday, a day in which we had a full slate of 15 games. We'll start it off with our hitters, leading off with outfielder Fernando Tatis Jr., who helped the Padres to win against the Twins, going 4 for 5 with 2 runs, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a steal to complete the combo meal. He's up to 17 homers and 29 steals on the season now. The first one went 396 feet at 106 miles per hour, and the second one went 390 feet at 108 miles per hour. And it's all well known now that Tatis failed to homer for his first 55 games. He's now homered 17 times since those first 55 games, with 9 of his home runs coming in August alone. And August has been a month in which Tatis has batted .316 with a 200 WRC plus, and he's walking more than he's striking out. Just incredible performance from Tatis. Overall, since hitting his first home run, he's batted .305 with 17 homers, 15 steals, and a 154 WRC plus. This is the player we expected to get when we drafted Tatis in the first round in the spring. Next, we have second baseman Pedro Ramirez, who helped the Cubs to win in Seattle, going 3 for 6 with 3 runs, a home run, and 5 runs batted in. It was his third homer of the year, and it traveled 363 feet at 106 miles per hour. Ramirez has taken over everyday second base duties following the injury to Dansby Swanson that forced Nico Horner to move from second base to shortstop. But not only has Ramirez proven versatile this year as he's played all over the field for the Cubs, but he's also proven capable of handling major league pitching with a 767 OPS on the year, though don't expect a lot of pop moving forward as he has a mere 2.5% barrel rate. There's more potential if Ramirez was able to pull the ball in the air more, but that's really not his game. He's more of a batting average speed guy who makes a lot of his value in the field. Ramirez is somebody who can be rostered in deep leagues because of his everyday role, and he will contribute solid batting average and a handful of stolen bases. But if you'd like a breakdown of other notable hitting performances from Sunday, check out the daily Batters Box article over on PitcherList.com. Now we'll head to the mound and check out some notable starting pitching performances, opening with Christian Javier versus the A's. He did all he could, but the Astros lost. Javier went 4 innings, allowing 4 hits and 3 earned runs, walking 2 while striking out 8. He induced 21 whiffs with 36% CSW across 90 pitches, and Javier earned the golden goal as he led baseball with 21 whiffs to earn the Gallows Bowl, and then earned the King Cole by leading baseball with that 36% CSW. The results were not great for Javier, but that golden goal is definitely eye-catching for a player who we already knew had some potential. His heater looked dope, sitting 93 miles per hour with 18 and 19 inches of IVB and 1.4 Hava as it induced 9 whiffs, but his sweeper was even better, avoiding damage with 11 whiffs and 50% CSW. And if not for a 429 BABIP due to a 75% hard contact rate, a homer that scored 3 of the 4 runs he allowed, and an efficiency that knocked him out before he could complete the 5th frame, Javier would be the talk of the town. He does have more work to do. It's probably in the command department, but there were definitely some poor fortunes here that prevented him from having the game that the whiffs and CSW suggest that he deserved to have. But I am very intrigued in Javier's next start in Queens. Lastly, we have Cal Quantrill versus the Angels, 6 shutout innings, 6 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. He induced 14 whiffs with 24% CSW across 96 pitches, and Quantrill helped the Rangers to a win there against the Angels. He's rarely someone who convinces me of his successful performances, but this outing was his most convincing of the year. As he said, a season high with 14 whiffs. Quantrill located sinkers perfectly, especially versus right-handed batters on the arm side, leading to 7 whiffs and 88% strikes with the pitch, while splitters fell below the zone for 6 whiffs. Cutters held everything together with a 90% strike rate, as his four-seamer command completely disappeared with just 48% strikes. And since joining the rotation in June, Quantrill has a 2.48 ERA in 12 outings. I don't know if that's enough for me to trust him in standard leagues. I don't want to look at somebody's ERA and suggest that's how they're going to pitch moving forward. But if you want to ride out this Vargas rule, thinking that Quantrill is on fire, just missing the heart of the zone enough and getting enough fortunate batted ball luck to continue having success for a couple months, I don't blame you if you want to start Quantrill in Milwaukee next. But if you'd like a breakdown of every single start from Sunday, give the Plus Pitch podcast a listen and check out Nick's daily SP roundup over on pitcherlist.com. Now we'll head to the bullpen and check out the relievers that got saves and the closers that pitched outside of save situations or blew their saves. Starting with the former, Brian Baker worked around a solo shot for his MLB leading 37th save. Hogan Harris recorded his 13th save with a perfect ninth. Jacob Latz pitched a scoreless ninth for his 26th save. Aroldis Chapman recorded his 29th save with a perfect ninth. Kevin Ginkel got the final out of the game for his second save. Brandon Garcia got the first 2 outs of that one. I don't know why they took him out, nor do I not know where Justin Martinez was in this one. It might just be a pure closer committee in Arizona right now. And lastly, Raisel Iglesias had a scoreless 4-out save, his 27th save of the year. And in terms of closers to pitch outside of save situations or blow their saves, Riley O'Brien allowed 6 runs, pitching the 9th inning up by 4 to take his 5th loss. Pete Fairbanks pitched a hitless 9th with a 4-run lead after the Marlins tacked on an insurance run to ruin his save chance. Steven Cruz pitched a hitless 9th with a 4-run lead after the Royals tacked on multiple insurance runs to ruin his save chance. Josh Hader pitched a perfect 9th, trailing by 1. He hadn't pitched since Wednesday, and the Astros are off today, so this was a maintenance outing for Josh Hader. Kodai Senga served up a walk-off solo home run to take his 9th loss of the year. Grant Taylor allowed a run to blow his 6th save, but he earned his 6th win when the White Sox walked it off in the bottom half. And lastly, Jordan Romano pitched a perfect 9th with the Rockies trailing by 5. He hadn't pitched since Wednesday, so this was a maintenance outing for Romano. But if you'd like more information on relief pitchers, check out Rick Graham's daily articles over on pitcherlist.com. And before we look forward to today's games, we're going to take a quick break. And we're back now. We can look forward to Monday, August 24th, a day in which we'll have just 10 games on our slate. My matchup of the day is Zach Wheeler versus Logan Gilbert, a pair of aces squaring off with great fastballs, great extension. It should be a blast watching them pitch in T-Mobile Park, one of the best pitchers parks in baseball. Zach Wheeler versus Logan Gilbert. In terms of probable starters, we've got 8 guys in the auto starts tier, including Wheeler and Gilbert. We've also got Chase Burns in San Francisco, Drew Rasmussen in Detroit, and Cade Cavalli versus Rocky Road. Our probably starts tier has 3 guys, and our questionable starts tier has 3 as well. And that's where we'll find our streamer of the day in George Clausen versus the Guardians. Clausen has proven to have great stuff that's enough to dominate in an MLB matchup. He has a fastball in the upper 90s. It sits around 97, and he's got a devastating slider. But against the Guardians, he's probably going to need a third pitch to step up because they are a club that will load the lineup with left-handed hitters and switch hitters, which will force Clausen to maybe find a changeup or something other than the fastball and slider to have success there. Regardless, I think it's still a pretty decent streaming option. I'd also keep an eye out for Jose Urquidy versus the Rangers. He's expected to have an opener too if you're looking for an opener. He looked really solid in his last outing. I don't think he's somebody who's going to have a lot of strikeouts, but with the way that he pitched last time, he looks like he could be a solid Toby. He could give you a pretty good shot at a win pitching out of the bullpen for the White Sox. In terms of hitter suggestions, I target Nationals hitters versus Ryan Feltner because he has a 5.97 ERA on the year, and I target Twins and A's hitters in Sutter Health Park, one of the best hitters parks in baseball, and we'll see Zebby Matthews and his 5.12 ERA square off against Jeffrey Springs and his 6.02 ERA. And now we can close things out with our relievers to watch. Brian Baker has pitched on back-to-back days, but so has Kevin Kelly. So one of Tyler Wells or Garrett Clevenger could be the Rays closer on Monday. And lastly, Jacob Latz has pitched in 3 of the past 4 days. So expect Jacob Junis to be the temporary closer for the Rangers on Monday. But that'll do it for today's episode of the First Pitch Podcast. Make sure to head on over to pitcherlist.com to check out all the great articles and features we have on the site. Sign up for PL Plus or PL Pro to gain access to the Discord and to support the Pitcher List staff. You can follow me on socials at Jake Crumpler, where I do daily SP streamers and I break down every single start via the Pitcher List stats player cards. Tune into YouTube tomorrow and every day for a new installment of the podcast, and make sure to enjoy the day as we are blessed with another day of baseball.